Zavod Graveyard Shift is the new night map on Battlefield 4 at the minute, and if you haven't already, it's definitely worth jumping on a game of hardcore if you can find a server available for it, and jumping in with your mate in the tank and enjoying some of the benefits of running with thermal vision and running with an HMG that on hardcore mode will destroy anything in its path. The splash damage of the AP shell is also amazing, and if you're running on console you could switch it up to a canister shell, but remember you're going to be struggling with your reload times as it shares the main cannon with your AP shell or with whatever main shell that you're running. So as you can see in the background, with the thermal optics, especially as it's night, they are so crystal clear and you can pick off enemies in the distance, and especially on hardcore mode it's really no problem taking people down. You just have to hit 1 or 2 shots and straight away you find yourself landing massive kill streaks, massive amounts of splash damage and kills that you don't really expect to get. And with the gunner as well, you will never find yourself struggling to kill an enemy. The secondary gunner machine gun as well is pretty much 2-shot kill, I think a 1-shot headshot, or maybe it's an 80 hit with a headshot. The Zavod Graveyard Shift map on hardcore mode is one of the most enjoyable tank maps that I have played since owning Battlefield 4. It might be a bit tricky to get used to at first if you're not used to running the thermal scope, and if you don't have a gunner who can jump out and rep for you, then you also might find it a little bit difficult, but once you've got used to it, it is really easy to dominate a match of Conquest and pick up a really nice kill streak in the process. It doesn't really matter which side you're playing on Zavod, they both have their benefits and they both have their negatives, but I do personally like playing on the Chinese side because I can get up if we do manage to cap Bravo and push all the way up to their base. There's a very nice spot that you can camp up on a hill and you can just dominate them and keep them in their base. I know it's not ideal, but if you are looking to build up a kill streak, that is possibly the best way to do so, especially if you've done all the hard work pushing them back. With this Zavod night map not having an AA gun, it makes it even more important for you as a tank to keep enemies that are being dropped off by the transport helicopter out of the way from capping back towards the flag nearest your base, because that is the worst thing that can happen on Zavod in my opinion, is when you're fighting on 2 fronts. It's not something you really want to be doing, especially if it's quite a close game. As you can see in the background, some of the footage that I've got on, exactly that was happening. Foxtrot was getting capped as we were pushing for Charlie and Delta and pushing on to Bravo just a little bit, trying to stop some of the enemies pushing forward and waiting for the enemy tank to spawn so we could get into him and stop him from pushing. And consequently, that left us in a situation where we were relying on our own infantry to do a job for us. And that's not a problem if your infantry are competent and can go and do that. But as you can see now, Echo's been capped. So they've managed to cap Foxtrot, use it as a spawn point and then push back to Echo. And there's no good you just having Charlie and Delta on a game of Zavod Conquest, especially with it being a 6-flag map. You want to be having 4 out of the 6 flags, otherwise you're just relying on kills to get you some points in the match, and you'll often find games going on for absolutely ages unless you do something about it. Capping Foxtrot in the tank is not ideal. There's too much verticality, especially with that tower, and even though the ladder's been removed from it, you'll find that infantry easily manage to get up there with the transport helicopter, and sometimes if someone bails from your transport helicopter, they'll have 2 on the go, and unless you've got someone with a Stinger or you get a lucky shot in a tank or an LAV, you're not going to be able to take them down. For that reason, I would place the most importance on Echo. If you can cap Echo and prevent them from getting from both sides, just making sure that you keep an eye on both sides, making sure they can't get down from Foxtrot if they've managed to cap that, and can't get across from the central flags in Charlie and Delta, and also keeping an eye on your big map for any tanks or LAVs or something that might be trying to flank you and suppressing them as much as possible as well. In the background now is a really good example of what you do when you get shot in the back by an RPG, whether it be on hardcore mode or on normal mode. As you can see, I've been shot in the back. That will have done around 50-52 damage to me. So what I do is I pop my APS as I see another incoming missile, my gunner's out bailing, and then I turn my tank and get out of there. It doesn't matter if my gunner doesn't get back in, I just get the weakest point of the tank, turned away from that incoming RPG. Sometimes if I'm on my own, what I'll do is when I'm hit by an RPG, I'll bail out straight away and repair for a couple of seconds. This is assuming I don't have a gunner. Jump back in, pop my APS, he'll miss his second RPG. By that time I've got enough time to turn my tank and get out of there. The worst thing that you can do in that situation is pop your APS straight away, because by the time he's reloaded, your APS is down and you'll just get another simple shot on you. It's also really easy to tell when APS goes down because it goes from green to red, so if any engineer that's shooting you knows this, then they're easily going to be able to destroy your tank before you even get a chance to shoot them. Hardcore mode really does press on the fact that having a gunner will make your life so much easier in a tank. Not only that they can just repair you, but also that they can they can take down enemies from close and mid-range really easily, and they can take down anybody on the roof, which is really useful on the Zavod map because you always get people jumping up there on the transport helicopter and then shooting down with RPGs, s'mores, throwing C4, stuff like that. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this short video on the Zavod Graveyard Shift night map. If you did, leave a like and I'll catch you guys in the next video.